Back, guys, to another live stream Sunday where we are just here to assist you guys in any way possible. I'm just going to give you seconds for the delay to pick up on the live stream over there. There it is. All right. Again, thank you guys for being here. It's another Sunday, another live stream, another critique, if you will. Really, we just want to help you guys out in any way that we can. So if you have any work, any tattoos that you've done, fake skin, real skin, and you want to send them in, there's an email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We take them live. If they come in after the live stream, they're not going to be seen. We take them live here on the channel. And again, we're just a couple of people who are going to look at them, tattoo artists. We're going to look at your tattoos, give you some advice and whatnot. We're not here to destroy you or be negative in any way, but it's going to happen in some regards. So again, take it with a grain of salt. And move on from it. Hopefully it helps you in some way. Nonetheless, guys, what is new here? We are coming down to the wire. If you guys are tracking what's going on here with myself and my family, again, we're moving to Texas. We'll be out of here at the end of the month. We're leaving on the 28th, so we should be in Texas at the very end of this month and hopefully taking appointments out in Texas by, I would like to say, by the end of August. Hopefully it doesn't take that long to figure out where I want to be. But nonetheless, that's that. If you guys want to follow any of that process, going out there blind, finding a place where I'd like to work, starting the process, going through that, then subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I will be posting some, stories as I start to pack this stuff up. I'm going to be packing up everything you see behind me and then even stuff you can't see here in the next week or so. So again, if you want to see that, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow on social platforms, because I will try to share as much of that as I can when I can. So I believe that is all the new stuff going on today. So we're going to say hello to Andy. He's hanging out and they just disappeared for a moment. And there he is.
I'm back. I just thought I'd throw you a curveball, Dave. You went, and Andy's in. It's like, Andy's gone.
Oh, and give the stream a like, guys. For all 25 people who are hanging out with us right now, give the stream a like, support the channel. We're here for you guys. Now, how have you been, Andy?
I've been good. Mixed bag this week. Some decent stuff, a lot of smaller stuff. Just keeping busy. Just general everyday, tattooing experiences in the shop. It was supposed to start out, shall we say, a quieter week. But the first 4 hours at first day put paid to that. Then it ended up being a busy week. And this week coming's mental. I don't know what it is at the minute, Dave. I honestly don't know what it is. Everything is just crazy. Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, there was 3 of us in shop. It was non-stop both days. Nobody got a chance to sit down, tattooing. As fast as anybody were doing anything, door were going, people were coming in. Absolutely flat out for 2 days.
Dang. Gotta love it while you get it, man.
Yeah. That it were like rock on home time. It were them sort of days. It was rock on home time. And then I'll be honest, I really had to pull my finger out of my ass on Thursday night to go live on Thursday night.
Yeah.
But we did it. We got that one done. I know it was a short and sweet Thursday night, but
you were tired, man. You're tired. I could tell we kept it to a time crunch. We did good.
Did I was. I know you had. We'd messaged, haven't we, Dave? You've got a hell of a lot of work to catch up on, with tattooing stuff. I'd had a busy week. I'd still got work to catch up on. I got stencils that I hadn't done, this, that, and other. So unfortunately, it would either keep it short and sweet or not go live at all. So I decided to go short and sweet. Jason's put, how many artists you got in your shop? You're looking at him. There's only me. In shop.
I think he might have been confused when you were saying that you were running, your daughter was running, but they're doing like laser and maybe doing paperwork and stuff. Is that what you meant by that?
We're doing. They've got piercings in. They've got tattoo removals in. They've got permanent hair removal. You know, for IPL, for permanent hair removal for ladies. They were just racked, packed, and stacked. You know, 2 days, absolutely 2 days solid, flat out through it. You know, through the day. It's
excuse me.
Just one of them things that I were glad that, shall we say, Saturday was a little bit quieter, so I wasn't right bothered. Again, and I know these guys, and we've got on a few times, and they're going about apprenticeships, and you know about apprenticeships. You had a crappy one, Dave, didn't you?
Short and crappy.
On the flip side, I've had apprentices that have just wasted my time.
Oh, of course.
I've given them option, and they've just wasted my time to the point that then they've disappeared. I've given them the opportunity. I've worked with them. I bring them along, but then they've wasted my time and then just not bothered turning in. You know, not bothered. You know, disappeared, just vanished. Poof! Right. As fast as they were there, they've just never come back.
So, yeah, that's it, man. You invest time into somebody. Yeah. That's the hard part. And I know everybody here, the people that we talk to, you know, you guys might be different. You know what I mean? Because you got the passion for it. You want it. You're hungry for it. You get the opportunity. You're going to take it and run with it. But there are a lot of other people who, you know, don't. And so it just seems like a good idea. Maybe they get lucky and they get the apprenticeship and they're just not willing to put in the effort, or, you know, it's not important enough. So, yeah, it can be tricky finding an apprentice, or not finding an apprentice. That's probably not the hard part, but maybe keep deciding who you're going to invest into, who you're going to pour into, who's going to give back to you, who's going to be loyal. And, it starts with us, though. We got to make sure that we're doing what we need to do so that you do take on an apprentice, and they're looking at you going like, do I actually want to stay here? You know?
Yeah.
And so they have that decision too. So be good to them. And hopefully in a perfect world, they'll be good to you. They'll be loyal to you. They'll work
even down to the last guy. Well, look, I've got, all you should need to do is get some fake skins and a machine. I've got power supplies and everything, you know what I mean? Just get yourself a machine and some cartridges. I'd even got, Dave, a full set of inks. Don't get me wrong, there was out of date. There was stuff that I couldn't use on a client.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you don't need to buy them out because they're out of date. You can use them on fake skin.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
There were blacks, there were full colour sets and everything. Rather than me throwing them away, I says, you're welcome to use, you know, I'm on fake skins while you're learning, so you don't have to buy them. But it's just one of them things. Hey, John, how you doing? It's underground, John, isn't it?
Yep.
Must be late down there in Dubai.
Well, we are early, so it probably helps him out.
Yeah, but it's like I said, then you've got time vested in them and everything. And again, like you also find as well is, like we've talked about it on my channel, giving them stuff to do, you know, drawings to do, Dave, you know, in preparation, in between. But I can't draw that. I don't want to draw that. Well, unfortunately, when you're learning to tattoo, you're going to have to learn to draw it. Whether you're going to use that skill, I want you to learn to draw that for the simple reason it's going to teach you proportions, it's going to teach you light and shade, you know, and this, that, and other. And but it's like they don't want to do it, and it's like if you're not willing to do it, you've got to get out of your comfort zone, Dave.
Yeah, you do, and I will say, like I said, even in the beginning of tattooing, I said there was a lot of things I said I'd never tattoo because I just didn't think I could. And over time, if you don't push yourself on paper and you don't like prepare for what you might want to do in the future on skin, then you're never going to get there. It's just not going to happen. I never drew portraits. I never did faces, nothing. I said I never do portraits, and I don't do them every day, but I still probably do them occasionally. And that's because I spent time and I figured it out on paper. It's like, okay, it's not that. It's really not as complicated as long as you have some sort of drawing understanding and shading and whatnot. Then it's just shapes and it's just tones and that's it. And so again, but if you're not willing to step out and do it on paper, then you're not going to ever get it on skin. It's not like all of a sudden you see it a lot. People are like, well, I'm just going to tattoo. I'm just going to follow the line. I'm just going to do that. And they usually fall out within months, maybe a year of, in and out tattooing when they have time, but they're not going to improve because artistically it has to be somewhere to get somewhere. Guys, if you have any questions at all, we usually give it a little while for people to get some submissions in. I don't know how many we have right now, but that's why me and Andy usually BS for like the first 15, 20 minutes of the stream, just while we wait for emails to come in. So we can set the pace and just move through. So if you have any tattoos, fake skin tattoos, human skin tattoos, whatever, email them to the email scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's artmesomething@gmail.com. And we'll be taking a look at those shortly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said again, it's just one of them things that I've tried it and you just don't get back. They don't realise how hard this shit is, Dave. You know what I mean? The thing that they come with no knowledge, no experience, limited. I've even give people a chance with limited art background and try to bring their art on along and that, and they all think that they're going to be doing masterpieces on people in 3 months, and it's like you're going to be lucky if you put in a bloody row, a cross on somebody 3 months, and that's this big type thing. It's because it's just one of them, and people's learning's at a different speed.
Yeah, and then you see a lot of people who try to, again, we're just BSing before letting give you guys time to get your submissions in. And then you got a lot of times people want to skip the fundamentals in tattooing, i.e. mainly lining. And because some people have that artistic background, so they jump right in and they know how to shade. They just got to figure out how to make it work. They figure that out. Lining, getting good lines is a hard thing. It takes time, and you're continuing trying to improve those. So a lot of people jump right into like a semi-realism. And you can see a lot of times in it that it's lacking some sort of liner work, line weights, or whatnot. So don't skip things just because you want to make something cool. Give yourself the best possibility to succeed and go through the fundamentals, learn the fundamentals.
You've got to
get decent at them. You don't have to like master them before you move on to the next thing, especially if you're just working on fake skin, but get decent at them. And that way, when you start to bring in other things, those will move to get better with the new things you're doing, right? So don't try to do everything at once. If you just started, don't try to pack color today. If you just started, don't try. Just line stuff out and keep it small. You know the deal. If you've been
and how many times have we seen it, Dave? I mean, like we say, keep it small, keep it real. This sort of size, 2 to 3 inches. But people want to pack a piece of bloody A4, size of false skin, and they can't even get a stencil. Let's be right, you know what I mean? I mean, we've seen it on here that you can clearly see the stencil. They can't even follow the stencil, let alone draw a decent one. They can't follow it. So the tracing skills.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's where you got to go. I remember my apprenticeship did suck, but the one thing they had me do is, trace stuff, a lot of it. And so you do get a little decent at that, which can translate over, but you definitely want to do more of it in a different way. So Mike said, I did a tattoo today. My question is, she had really white skin and I think my lightest tone looked too dark. Right. So what you're going to want to do there is sometimes depending on the person's skin tone, I'm sure Andy probably does something similar. Adjust your setup a little bit. If you're making your own grays, if you're making your own drop system, and some things are learned, so you're learning it now. Okay, crap, there's quite a dramatic difference here when the person's skin is super light, pale. Some people's skin just sucks ink up really quick, and you're like, oh, sweet, I can just be gentle, do my thing. Other times you need a little bit more effort. So in that case, hopefully you notice that quickly. And from there, you could get a water cup out, a water cap. If you do opaques, you can get a white cap out, dip into your lightest tone, and then dip into that, the appropriate amount to, lighten it right on the fly as you go. The other thing to do as well is to just, you learn it, you see it, the skin, and ahead of time, just prep. If your lightest tone is a 5-drop or something, maybe do a 3, maybe do a 2. It's totally up to you. Andy, what do you want?
Yeah, I mean, generally, you preempt skin. One, I'd like to know what's he used. Has he used a grey wash, or has he used a true, opaques? But again, like you say, you will generally see it, and when you see the skin, if it does look like, easiest way I usually do, but that's only with experience, I just brush it in lightly, move away, let it settle, come back, especially my first areas, first few areas that I'm trying. I'll brush it in really lightly, move away, and sometimes it might not even look like it's in, but then it will settle, for want of a better word, settle. If it is, what I would say to you, if your lightest tone, you're using a 2-drop in whatever, I don't know what size cap is mixing in either, Dave, because it's all relevant.
It is.
And the skin's looking like, start with a 1-drop. But the other one is, if it's looking a bit dark, generally it will heal out over the next. You will probably find that if you go back to it, Mike, in 6, 8, 10 weeks time, you will find that it's still lightened out. Even though they've got light skin, it's still lightened out. Because I don't know if you've ever done this, Dave. I've gone in, I've put a tone in, and I've thought to myself, might be a little bit dark, that, when it heals. So what I've done is rinse my mag out completely, then dipped it in my rinse cup, which is just usually tainted. You know what I mean? Go back over the area with basically just water, with a tiny little bit in the rinse cup. And what you're doing is you're mixing its skin. Not great. You're not mixing a lot in the skin. It will just lighten it that little bit further. Mixing the water, because
I've never done it with water, but I have done it with the opaques there. So sometimes if I want to lighten up a spot, I'll dip into the white and go over top of it. Yes. And that white mixes with the darker pigment, and it's not going to create a white, obviously, but it creates a lighter gray. And I've seen that healed as well. And it works. It works to a degree. Obviously, you don't want to overwork the skin by trying to pack a bunch of white to try to fix a problem. But in small situations, it's pretty good.
It's like the water. It's like the water. The rinse cup water.
Yeah.
Over that. It's not a miraculous thing. It will lighten it up a little bit, because basically you're mixing that again in the skin. You know, and adding more water into it, passing over. It's not a great, but it does help. I've even done it where a pure whitewash. Yeah. White. I've put maybe 2 drops. 2 drops of white ink.
Right.
In a cap.
Yeah.
A cap with 2 drops of white ink and distilled water, and you can draft that over it, and that'll mix in. But but them methods that I'm telling you there, really only use them if you've got a decent understanding of tattooing, Dave. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise, you could end up chewing people up, this, that, and other. You know what I mean? You just got to understand, a little bit there. But again, like Dave says, you just do a little bit. Because part of tattooing, Dave, isn't it? You've got to be able to read their skin. You've got to be able to read people's skin. So if somebody comes into you and they're looking tanned, you know that you're not going to get away with using certain tones. Your lightest of tones is probably not going to show up on really tanned people. You may see it a little bit, but it's not going to work as good. So if somebody comes in and they're pasty white and they look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, you know that even your grey washes, even your colours are going to pop off them even further.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you've just got to adjust out for that.
Absolutely. And let's see. So Mike says he's going to let the tattoo heal and go back. Yeah. I mean, that's the best thing to do. Always let him heal. Don't try to get him back in there, do anything crazy. All right, Andy, we hit the 20-minute mark. We're going to jump over, check out the emails, see what we got, guys. I'm pretty sure we have a few to get us started today. All right. Let's get this fingered out here. There we go. All right, starting off, the first one to send in was Tyler. Okay, there's a piece here. He says, hey, Dave and Andy, here are some recent pieces of work I've done on fake skin. I have not been able to bleach the skin yet because I'm finishing the last piece in the on the sheet. The doctor's mask is not complete yet. Thanks. All right, sounds good. Let's take a look. Hey, I like the style of these. This is cool. This is cool.
Nice fake skin.
Yeah, good. The true skin. How you liking the true skin, man? I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, definitely. It's got a little bit of texture to it. It's a little thicker, I think, than the brand Real Skin. It was pretty nice to use. But man, the lining looks good on these. Go ahead, Andy.
Do you know what strikes me straight off the bat with this? It's got a piece of fake skin there, Dave, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 5 pieces he's got on that?
Yeah, 5 pieces.
5 pieces he's got on that. So he's working. He's doing it right. He's working small. This is what it should be working. You know, I totally agree. This is what it should be working. His line is nice and saturated. I'm looking at the hand at the top, Dave.
Yeah.
It's clean as, from what I can see. Can you zoom in a little bit, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at the line work around the fingers and that clean and clean. You've got the fingernails, the shape of the fingernails clean. Do you understand what I mean? The line, it's got a fatter line around the outside of the envelope, clean. It's just got that subtle bit of shading. In the envelope, the top part of the envelope, it's got a lighter shading with a tiny little bit of darker in it. This is bang on. It's where it should be. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and I like what he's done here is line weights. I see varying line weights, specifically in the hand, since that's the one we're currently looking at. And if you were to use obviously the same thickness that you did or going around the outside of these hands for these little bits in here, it's gonna feel too heavy. It just adds a nice dynamic range to the tattoo. And it's nice. It's slick. It's simple, not overdone. The lining's clean, again, like Andy said. Solid piece, saturation is good. Shading's where it should be. I mean, there's really nothing that I want to say. Obviously, it looks like you shaded this one first, and then you'll probably, I assume, go back and probably line it out. I don't know if that's your normal method for doing things. It's interesting. If it is, so be it. If it's not, if you ever, might be a little harder on human skin if you want to keep your stencil, but it looks like you should be fine either way. But I look forward to seeing the Harry Potter as well, because that's different from the rest of these. We got a hand, we got a mask, we got a can, you got these different creases, and I'd be interested to see the style in which you do this face. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking good as Harry Potter. I mean, the crushed can, he's managed to get texture in. It's not just smooth shading; he's got texture in there. And again, I think the Plague Doctor mask at the top, I think that's the style that it should be in. I don't think he lines. I don't think he's going to line this. I think it's just a pure shaded one.
I think he said that one's not done, though.
Right. But again, it's really nice work. It's really clean work. He's kept it real. He's kept it at a decent size, really, that he's working with. And I think somebody said on here that if I could see a bit more of his work, Dave, do you know what I mean? At this size and this sort of style, that if he's consistently, which it looks like he's consistently doing this, I would say to this guy at this point, try doing some tattoos in this style, this size, on a human canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Start
Definitely.
transitioning yourself to human flesh, human canvas, keeping it real like this. You know, this sort of stuff, this sort of style. Just to start dabbling with a bit of, shall we say, human flesh, and then you can see how you transition over. But keep working on this. I mean, I think it's as crisp as it's coming.
Yeah. It's looking good. Definitely ready to start small scaling that exact style, like Andy said, on human skin. All right, next up is Josh. Hey guys, how have you guys been? I believe is my best newest ones. I slowed my machine down to 6.5 to 6.8, and well, it seems to be perfect. I'm still on the Real Skin brand fake skin. I'm still working on my shades. I keep going dark, then keep going darker, probably is what you meant to say, darker than what I need. Here goes the pics with the stencils, except 2. I'm not the best picture taker, by the way. Thanks again, man. I really do appreciate you guys doing this. The feedback from everyone is helping so much. Okay, so slowed your machine down. Keep going darker. Okay, all right. So let's take a look at what we have here. Okay. It's definitely dark, and believe me, I'm a sucker for some black in a tattoo. But this gets a little confusing here. I do see like maybe this is like a eyes and a skull nose kind of a thing. I'm just gonna scroll across here real quick. Anyway, and take a look at what we got. All right, this one's easier to read.
This one's easier to read because the other one's.
And yeah, I see where you're getting too dark. Right. Okay.
This one here that you're on here, Dave.
Yeah, we can deal with this one. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, because this one here, he's left his open space, right? He's left his open space, which is a good thing. Where it's dark, what I can see of this piece, where it's dark and it wants to be black, doesn't look on my TV, doesn't look super saturated. It still looks a bit, light and patchy in areas. But what he's done is he's gone dark everywhere and it's become tonal. His tones are too close to each other.
Yeah, it's tonal. And then you can see like up here in the head, I could tell he wanted that. I don't think he wanted that to be black up here. Maybe just like another tone down, maybe. But it just seems too dark. It gets lost. It blends in with the hat. Like this is a little bit lighter through here, but again, it's just it's too dark. It's too dark. And
the other thing as well is zoom back in where you are, Dave.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah.
Right, just pop to the left of the picture and go up. Just you see where the glasses are on the end of the beak.
Yep.
There's like that smoke to the side of it. Look, you've got a line through the edge of that smoke, but then you've shaded on the outside of it. What I would have said is if you're going to do that, I would have wouldn't have run a black line. It could be a stencil, I may be wrong. Just run your mag and waft your mag up through it instead of, putting a line in there if it's meant to be like smoke. But again, like we said, the separation of your tones are very close together. And this is something, well, we've all had to work out. And you work out your own drop system, don't you, Dave? When you're working, when you're working on skins to see how it heals, which works out best for you. But with the false skin is with your tones. It's not very forgiving because you could use one tone, you could use a 2-drop tone in an effect with fake skin because you can't really overwork it. You could just keep packing and packing and packing until you got black, but it's all on the pressure. With false skin, a lot of it's to do with the pressure of how you put, you're putting it in and applying it into your false skin. Whether you're just literally grazing the top of it lightly and putting it in, or whether you sat there, just literally, cranking it in for a dark black.
I'd be curious to know what kind of what the drop system is here, what the ink system is here, because there's no value change really. I mean, you can see slightly, but you can't even tell where the black is. Like, what is your black? Is this your black right here? Is this your black? I don't see black. I just see like you used a dark tone. Let's say like, yeah, a dark tone, and just use that through everything. Just whipped it around everywhere. If you wanted it lighter, you just whipped it out. Where I'd encourage you to like try to use the tones that you want to use and then whip it out a little bit as well, and then map out your black. The lining isn't too bad. There are some spots in here though where it looks like you really chewed up the fake skin. It might be kind of hard to see. So just be aware of, if you do see this sort of thing, that it's probably just a bit aggressive on the machine, but a lot of it is not badly lined.
I think it's Josh. Is it Josh this?
Let me check. Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, because he's put in chat, I use world famous. World famous, it is outlined in black. A mid-tone, yeah. Now on fake skin,
well,
I would say
mid-tone.
I would say you're gonna want a mid-tone. You're gonna want a darker black. You want a mid-tone, but when I say a mid-tone as well, when you're on fake skin, you want a mid-tone. Whereas if you're using a size 15, 16, 17 cap, I would say, me, Dave, especially for false skin, it could get away with maybe 8 drops. You know what I mean? 8 drops of black. And then my other one, then I will probably only run maybe 1 drop or 2 drops of black, you know, for my light
because
tone.
The fake skin picks up a lot of times. The fake skin picks up the ink quicker, if you will, if that makes sense. Or like it looks darker in fake skin than it would in human skin. So you, Andy's saying, is just adjusting that drop system to work better in the fake skin. Yeah, I would start with get yourself a 1 drop, try a 5 drop, try a 10 drop, have a 50% black as well. You just got to test stuff out. I mean, you can take your fake skin. I mean, you take this piece right here, try the different drops, and then brush them in to your fake skin. See how that looks, and then you'll know. And then you can apply that tone to certain parts of your black and gray piece where I want that tone here.
Pop 8 drops of black. Pop 8 drops of white in each one of your tones. You know what I mean? Just to give it that little bit of a, you know, flip, you know, grayer tinge to it, Dave.
Yeah.
It's the problem is when you're just using a mid-tone and a dark tone, like we've said, fake skin picks it up so quick that you might as well just be using black all the way through it. And unfortunately, that's how this is coming across, because it's a mid-tone. If you used a black and a light tone, there'd have been a bigger difference between the 2 tones, and I think then you'd have got a better result.
Yeah, and then when it comes to this one here as well, it looks like primarily you're just trying to do lines in black. Some things to think about here. If we're looking at this piece over here, this is where you might want to start thinking about line weights, because we have these thicker black lines and we have these thinner lines, right? It all plays a part. Thinner lines maybe on the inside. Maybe there's some spots you can bust out a thicker line here or there. But over here, it's pretty much the same line weight throughout. Now, in some regards, you can get away with it. But when you look in these leaves over here, these pot plant leaves or what have you, a thinner line through here would have helped and made it less, combobulated down here and easier to read. Same up here. I see you tried to do some more of this like whip shading here. It just coming across a bit on the muddy side. And the lining is, it's a process. You're on fake skin, so I can't beat you up completely. But just know the lining it has ways to go still, right? Saturation of black is not too bad. Again, if you are, let me check the reference over here. Sorry, I'm moving the camera around so much. Yeah, you just want to make sure that you're getting right up into all these crevices here. All the little crevices, saturating it real good. That's going to overall help. But for the most part, your black is saturated pretty well. And getting better at hitting your lines will help you. Getting better at nailing, boom, exactly where they go, the weight, all that jazz. Because if a line gets too thick, because we've gone over it a couple times, it shows. It shows pretty strongly. really, when it's sitting next to other lines that are intentionally the right size. But we'll take a look at the last one over here. I like some of the shading on this one. I think he still went too dark. I don't know what the reference looks like, but the shading looks a little smoother. Let's say like up here in the top, a little smoother. Maybe the tone, it kind of looks like there might have been a lighter tone used. But I'm going to encourage you 100%, Josh, to dabble in the light tones. Find them, whether it's a 2-drop, a 1-drop, on fake skin, again, like we said before, a 5-drop, a 10-drop. Try them out. Okay, obviously, when you go to human skin, those drop systems going to change a little bit, but you'll know what you're looking for when you get there.
Yeah, I mean, it's popped a question in here. It says, I've got a shading solution, but not sure how many drops to use. You fill your cap up with it.
Yeah.
If you're using a drop system, Josh, what you'll do is if you start with an empty cap, or you fill your caps up to like just over 3/4 with your shading solution, and then in your cap you'll have 1 drop of black, 5 drops of black, 10 drops of black, 50%, or you can put your black in first and then top your caps right to the top. But what we're saying is, I know you say use a medium cap, but a 13, 14, 15, 16, it's usually got on the cap what size it is. And that. I know when I mix my washes, I mix them in a size 15 cap. Are we still live? Or have I got chucked out? Dave's disappeared. Am I still rabbiting live? Somebody let me know. Yep, guys, we're still running. You've got 14s. You've got 4. Am I still live? Dave's gone. Live, cool. Yeah, so you got 14s. So on your 14, oh, you're back, Dave. I thought sorry about that. No, you're right. I thought I got voted off. So you got 14s. So yeah. So what I do is just virtually fill them up to the top with your solution. 2 drops, 5 drops, thing. Then just get your little mixy thing, which we all have them. We have them. I have them inks. I have a little ink stirrers. You've got the same thing, haven't you, Dave? Them little pigment ink mixers off.
If you don't have one of those little mixers, get one. I think they've gone up just in price, just for no reason, but they're like $10, and they're priceless. I mean, and then you can overpay again for the little plug things. I say overpay because they're like should be pennies, but you might pay a few bucks for them. But yeah, absolutely, every day I use them.
Yeah. I love them. I love it. Like you said, just little mixing sticks. I think last lot I got was something like.
I have a whole video on these.
Yeah, I think I got about 200 or 300 of them mixing sticks for about. I think it's about £6, so it's probably about $7.50. You know what I mean, Dave? It's They end up costing you more than the machine does in end. You end up spending more on the mixing sticks than what you do on a machine in end.
They're so worth having, though. I mean, just especially for black and gray, especially for opaque black and gray, because you're mixing thicker pigments, and it's been good. Yeah, it's been good. Well, Josh, dude, I think we've said enough in regards to what we think we can do. Keep at it, though.
I think Josh's thing now is you need to work your tones out. You know what I mean? Have a play with tones, not per se, shall we say, maybe do any work, but just on back on one of these false bits of skin, like Dave says, just start mixing your sense some tones up and just having a go with them, and including hand pressure for putting them tones in.
Yep. Next up, we have Evan. Here's my tattoo. Please give me all the feedback you can. Also, I love the channel. It's been super beneficial to my learning as I'm self-taught while looking for an apprenticeship. Below, I've included the finished tattoo as well, the original composition done by myself. Thanks again for everything. Best regards, Evan. Okay, we got the tattoo, and we have the reference. A lot of little things going on here.
Yeah.
Just taking a quick look here. Okay. Not too bad, though. I think if that purple was off of here, at first I said, oh, something going on in there when I just skimmed across quickly. But I think the bulk of what we're seeing is just the purple from the stencil. it just right off from the rip, though, there's a lot of things going on good here from your practicing. The one thing you're going to want to focus on is saturation. Just get in the habit of it. I mean, it's not horrible, but get in the habit of getting some solid saturation and knowing what you're looking for. So a lot of these, while they're somewhat filled, they're not quite fully saturated. Pack that black in there. Get used to it. It takes time, even in real human skin. Same down here. It's not bad, but you got the little holidays here and there. The shading is not bad, you know. I mean, this is a nice little, like, beginning style, whipping that out. There's a little bit of a nice natural gradation there. I would say up in this handle, it would have been nicer to see maybe a little bit more like of a curve shade coming off around there. Maybe from the other way too, maybe a little bit. I think it was in the reference. Yeah, you see this? See this little bit of shade here? I mean, you missed a nice opportunity to add some more of the same that you did here. That would have been really nice as well. And along the sides of the handle here as well. I guess you got a little bit of it going on here. Not too bad. And then I guess we would just sum up the lining at that point. It's not bad. You can see at least you nailed, for the most part, the crucial lines that you needed to. I think those will improve in time. They got a little sketchy feel to them, but I think if you continue practicing at this rate on the fake skin, boom, 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 you'll see it, because, you know, the Roman numerals are not super consistent. And believe me, I fracking hate Roman numerals, but they could be a bit more consistent, obviously. But I think you're on a good road here. I don't know how long this person's been tattooing, Andy. What are your thoughts, Andy? I kind of spewed mine out real quick so that I got mine out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you pretty much covered it. I mean, my thing is packing black. You've got to be able to pack black. As well as line, you've got to be able to pack black, because they're your main things. At some point, and then most tattoos rely on black, so you've got to be able to pack it. So again, like you can say, I'm not going to go back over it, but you can see the through the letters, through the Roman numerals, it's not packed. There's holidays in there. It's lighter. It's, you know what I mean. It's not up to edges in place. So you've really got to slow yourself down. And unfortunately, it's like we've said before, Dave. It's one of the hardest things to do is slow yourself down when you're tattooing, because you just want to go. Yeah. But being fast and going fast and tattooing don't work, because usually if you're packing skin and you're trying to pack in fast, you're going to end up chewing somebody's skin up, scarring them up, this, that, and other. So slow it down. But I agree with you. The line works. These lines are as well quite fine in nature. They're not heavyweight. They're not a heavyweight line. So generally, they're quite nice. They've got nice flow to them. The little indentation, you know, on the blade for where your little thumb grip is, you know, for when you pull it out on pocket knife.
Right.
Lines are nice on that. The little attention to detail in the handle, the circles, the half moons, the lines, the consistency of them being apart, the distance apart is really good. The thing that really stands out for me on this is, you know what I mean, is the packing of black. You've got everything else is coming along. It's the packing of black, because Dave, you know yourself, you can do a world's best tattoo, but if you've got to pack black in it, and you can do world's best lining on the tattoo, but if you've got to pack black in it and you can't pack the black and it's all patchy or it all falls out, your tattoo's going to look like shit. Quite simply.
And the person, Andy, here real quick, they commented, "Thank you for all the help. I used a 1 round liner for the lining and 3 round liner tight for the shading. I think you're hurting yourself. Not that using those are bad. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I use them all the time. And I've recently started using single needles, and they are really nice when you need them. But I wouldn't encourage. You could definitely have done this tattoo without a single needle. I mean, maybe it's all the details in the center there to some degree, but even packing. Did you pack this black with a 3 round tight? And then the shading, Yeah, I guess you can do the shading with a 3 tight. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're packing that black with a 3 tight, I would definitely encourage you to use something else. Use something that's going to do the job a bit better. Maybe like a 7 mag, a 5 round shader, a 9 round shader, or anything a little bit bigger. Using too small of a paintbrush to paint a larger area.
Your client won't like you.
Yeah.
You were packing all that black with the 3 tight. Your client will be pissed. You won't like them. And I mean, trying to pack all that black over all that area on a client on human skin with a 3 tight round liner, you've got a bigger chance of chewing the skin up as well.
Yeah.
You know, and
sure.
that. So you just need to do yourself a favor and just play around with needles and comfortable needle sizes for larger areas. You know, a packing. They're your friend. Honestly, they are. You might not think it is, but they are your friend in the end.
Yeah, definitely. Just food for thought. You know what I mean? There's people who love working with small needles. It's great. I love working with larger needles, but I use the small ones when I need them. Same goes for people who love to work with really small needles. They still use the large ones when they need them. So don't be afraid to use them. It's going to save you time. And then if you get to the point where you're charged by the hour, that's going to slow you down big time, you know? I mean, unless that's what you want to do. But
1 second.
Yeah, so taking forever. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
1 second, man.
Yeah. All right, next is from Smoke. This is Smoke's wife. We'll eventually color it. Doing stuff while Smoke is a cripple. I don't know why I laughed about that. That's fucked up. We'll eventually color. All right, Smoke's wife, Mrs. Smoke. Let's see what we got. All right, we got a nice reference here. It's a good reference to work off of. I like it. And actually, let me look at this a little bit. Now, she's going to color it. Gotcha. All right, let's see what we got over here. Oh, it's like a mile away. Oh, luckily it's taking on it with a decent camera so I can zoom in. Obviously, we're not going to get super zoomed in on this, Smoke. Smart. Good on you for taking the photo from 20 feet away, so we can only zoom in this far on it. Not that we want to go too crazy, but from here, it does look pretty good. It does. The lining looks consistent and saturated. The line weights look the same throughout. So there's not like a line, maybe one, but there's not many that are like, oh my gosh, why is that one bigger than the rest? It doesn't look like it belongs there. The lines and the weights of them relatively look like they belong where they are. The drain, the lettering in drain, pretty solid and consistent line work around the words drain. The black behind, the shadow of drain is really well saturated. She's onto something here, Smoke. I've seen some serious improvements. It's going to be a cool one to see in color. It's going to be a cool one to see the next stage of the process. And Smoke, if you get the time, man, you ought to try the same one. And then you do yours in black and gray, because I know you're saying that you lean more towards black and gray, because this reference right here is a pretty good, pretty simple black and gray reference to go up. There's not a ton, but even if you just kept it to this, where you have just a few tones, add a little here, a little shading there, that'd be a lot of fun too. But nonetheless, look forward to seeing this when your wife colors it in, oh, Mrs. Smoke. OMG. Andy's been transformed into a I don't even know what that is. I keep wanting to say Teletubby, but Teletubbies are round and colorful. I don't know what that is. Okay, guest. I thought we had a guest there. I thought maybe they were going to share what they thought.
About to go. Guest actors have to go.
I had no idea what you're doing. I was like, oh man, if Danik was here, he would have been calling your support crew. The nurses, get him over there. Andy's falling off. He lost his mind. Andy, I was gonna move on because I was kind of done talking about it, but this is Smoke's wife who sent this one in. So here's the reference for it. She's gonna eventually do it in color, but she just lined it for now.
I'd like to see it in color. nice in colour.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's. Do you know something? Done right, this it'd be a good fun tattoo.
It does. It does look like a fun tattoo.
Yeah, it's just a fun tattoo. So that's what I'll say before I go any further.
Yeah. And so this is what they now look what Smoke did. Okay. Smoke submitted the photo like this from 10 feet away. So when you go to zoom in on it, you can only get, luckily it was a good photo, so you can even get this far. There are plenty that we can't. That's as far as we can get. I think it's close enough to be able to see it and talk about it. But to get those really dirty details, not quite. But I thought it was pretty good overall, man.
Yeah, I mean, what I am looking for, I'm looking at the writing through the top, and it's pretty, it's pretty much down,
Yeah.
The reference, same as the rest of it. The only thing I can't comment on is the saturation because I can't tell from here. But the saturation under the teeth and in the back of, is it like a shark or whatever it is that's biting the head off the baby? May have, but I can only tell from here a couple of little patches in it. The thing that does stand out to me, and I would say to a lot of people, is that fine line on that circle. Underneath the circle, obviously.
Yeah, that's the one.
Away from you, a little bit smoothness, because you can just see the wobble, but that would be an easy correct. And what would be nice with that line actually under there, if you got someone like a 9 round shade or a 14 round shade and really bold that line up, underneath it, just that little section, it'd be nice to have a really, really bold, line through there. But the thing that stands out most to me on this one is the writing across the top, how true to form it is.
Yeah, you can't really hide that. It's out there.
Yeah, and that. But I would have liked to had a closer picture, Smoke. A little bit closer up, mate.
Hey, when she does the color one, we need it. We're requesting a closer photo, Smoke. This one is not bad, but
just so that we can see the lining, the saturation of the lining and everything. It'd be nice. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, John, yeah, I agree with you there. He's putting consistent good lines to the letters, and that's what stands out to me. The consistent good lines through the lettering. That's what stood out to me there.
Absolutely. Also, if there's anybody who are watching and are usually silent in the background watching the channel, don't be afraid. If you guys got any questions, put them in the chat. We'll answer them to the best of our ability with our own opinions and thoughts and experience, and the chat will do the same. So again, we hear it a lot. People finally get in. They go, I've been watching for a long time. I just never blah, blah, blah. Don't be afraid. Jump in there. Say hello. Ask a question if you got it, guys. I just always forget to say that sometimes because I always hear about it later on. People will message and like, I've been watching. I just never chat. Like, why? And they never know why. Please check this out. You've inspired me so much. Okay, dokie. Honestly, you've taught me so much and helped me believe in myself. You are the best. Well, thank you, Samantha. Let's see what we got. All right. You know what? Overall, it's not bad. I like it. It's pretty cool. It's a snake thing going on. Got the head in there. Let's see. The lines look pretty consistent. I'm looking at these little circles here, Andy. They're like pretty consistent all the way around. Dots aren't too bad. Curved lining looks pretty good. Lining, eyes aren't too bad. Yeah, overall, it's not bad. It's not bad. I don't do a lot of these, so I don't look at them a lot. So I don't know if there's like certain things that you could or should do. Do this, do that. I don't do a lot of these heads, period. I think I've only done like 2 in my life. But overall, from what you have here, I think it looks pretty good. Maybe this eye looks a little wonky in comparison to this one. Let's see. No, I just think the lines are consistent. The color seems to be saturated pretty good. I don't know. What's the chat? Anybody in the chat have anything to add to this particular tattoo? While I pass it over to Andy.
Only thing I can see on this, packed, it's whipped out. The line is good. Some of the lines would maybe be better bold, especially on the outside of the snake. Because obviously, like a traditional type tattoo, so it would have been nice, just like on the outside of the snake, it'd have been nice to have some bolder lines. But what I would say is, it's nice, but I don't know whether it's my TV or what. The red looks a little bit washed out. It could have just been either it could have been the wrong color red, or it could have just been done with being put in a little bit slower, you know. But taking that away, for the style of tattoo it is, it's a nice tattoo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a nice tattoo. It's, for want of a better word, it's pretty bulletproof, Dave. Your client's going to be happy with it, or whoever's got it is going to be happy with it. And that it's, and like I said, they're definitely going to be happy with it. Just a couple of things just to watch for. Maybe use some slightly bolder lines if you're going down the traditional, neo-traditional route.
Yeah, I agree with you, Andy. They could have done a little bit more in the line weights. This could have been what the line they currently have could have been the thinner line, and then they could have come back, maybe done a little bit something a little bit thicker to add that sort of look to it. Now, again, another thing, if you do this style of work, maybe look at what other people are doing. You know, don't necessarily compare yourself, but see what kind of different ways they're shading stuff, different things they're doing. The style is a little out of my wheelhouse, to be completely honest with you. So I can't really speak on it much more than fundamentally. But hey, I'm really glad the channel could help you get to this point here in any way, shape, or form, and encourage you to keep going. And please keep going. You're definitely doing good. Okay, Smoke said he did submit a closer photo. Right on, man. Good on you. Jonathan is up next. Jonathan Coots. All right, we got a 3-round liner, a 13 curve mag. Once I made it up to get Arnold, the client, jerked a while. Oh, excuse me, at the burp. Okay, once I made it up to get Arnold, the client jerked while I was on the eyes. So to correct it, I thickened up all the lines on Arnold's face. Sorry, it was so hard for me to read that. Okay. Okay, I see. So you corrected it by thickening up the lines on Arnold's face. And, you know, I don't think it does kind of stand out a little bit thicker than the rest. But I guess it's not so much. It's not so much to where you're like, wait, what happened there? You know what I mean?
No, I mean, it doesn't look out of place, Dave, I'll be honest. When he said he jerked and he'd done it, I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. At least it's clean, you know, the line work is clean. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Like I said, quite a simplistic, shall we say, tattoo. But again, when he sent it in, there's a lot of line work on show. There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for this guy to hide. I do think the odd place, again, some of the tones maybe just, but that's an art style. It's, some of the tones could have been a bit darker, just to push it around a little bit. But I think, is it the lettering near the top there? Is some lettering near the top? Can we?
90s, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can get any further in. The black looks pretty well in there. It's looking well and truly in there without being chewed, shall I say. It hasn't got that shiny, chewed up, you know, beaten look to it. What would have been nice, but again, just artistic thing, is the lighter shading off the 90s, baby. It'd have been nice if just a bit closer to your 90 and your baby, a little bit darker, and then, you know, worked out to lightness, just a little bit one noted. But to be fair, I mean, I'm looking around this thing, Dave.
Yep.
And the lining's not bad at all. It looks like he's got his stretch on. He's fairly confident, you know, with his machine and comfortable doing what he's doing. And yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I agree, Andy. I think the lining is pretty consistent. I mean, if there's spots, they're just here or there, nothing crazy. Yeah. You nailed your stencil. There is some shading in this, and it's a really soft shading, it appears. You know, we just have a little bit of some tonage here, a little tonage in the dog. The blacks are well saturated. This should all heal out and not be quite as prominent, in my opinion. Some light shades here in the hair. Again, the solid lines for the most part, black and saturated well. I feel like the 90s, the goop part behind it, and the fact that you put a little shade in the baby, it kind of blends too much together. Luckily, you have the black behind there to give it the contrast, but I would try to separate whatever tone you have here and the tone inside the word baby. Maybe just left it out. Like, just let the word baby have nothing in it, and then just the tonage in like the goo falling in the background a little bit. That would probably be the only thing I'd really go with. I mean, you could add a little bit more contrast here and there to what you do have shading in. You know, maybe the dog could get a little bit more depth here and there. There's little stuff you could do if you wanted to, but other than that, I mean, I think it's a fine tattoo. I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Again, you zoom out and look at it like that, and you look at it from where it should be looked at and everything. Nothing's jumping out other than maybe just a little bit more contrast in places, shading, you know what I mean? Yeah. But other than that, nothing's screaming. It's a
nice tattoo.
Yeah, it's a nice tattoo. Nothing's screaming that this is wrecked. You shouldn't be doing it. You should be doing that. It's just somebody that's now got a good handle on tattooing, and all they just need to do is just keep going and going and going now. Do you know what I mean? And everything will just carry on falling into place, and they will continually, just over time, getting better and better and better. You know, it's.
Mike asked, I want to know how he did the light gray work. Well, it's just as if you were to do dark gray works or black. You just take the light gray, and you have to figure out your tones a little bit. You got to figure out, you know, what they're going to look like in the skin or whatnot. So let's say this is like a 5-drop. 5 drops of black. The rest is water. This is obviously a wash. And if this were your mag, what I would do is I would obviously kind of pendulum motion that in there, but turn your mag like this. So if you're going like this, you're going to get streaks, right? And you can cross hatch that and make that kind of smooth out or whatever, but take your machine and turn it like this. So instead of the needles being like this, it's like this. So there's actually no gaps in between those needles anymore. And then you know, and kind of slowly go back and forth, and you'll get a smooth gradation. Or even if you're just trying to do a single tone over the whole thing, that's one way to do that, especially with the light tones. I mean, there's tons of methods and ways, but that's just one. Let's see. I just use a light shade and only backstrokes. See, there's another way, right? You can use just backstrokes. I wouldn't necessarily, unless you're using opaque and you really want it solid saturated, then you can drop in there and really pack it like you would like a black or something, or a color.
I've got to admit, though, I do like running off back of my mag as well, me.
Right.
Sometimes, because obviously, and you'll know whether you're running it this way so that your needles are up against the back of your mag. You know, I've got a hard surface to go on, as to whether you're running the other way and you're coming away from. If you're going the other way and away from it, so that they're coming away from the back of your mag.
Yeah,
you get a softer tone. You get a softer tone that way.
Yep. And if you want a little bit more of a aggressive tone, add a little angle to your machine and push it in there. So to get those soft tones, it does come down to the right gray wash, the right tone, obviously, and then technique. And that's a practice thing. But hey, thanks for sending this in. This was cool.
Nice.
On the other side, man, I grew up watching. I mean, how many of us did? I don't know who's here and how old everybody is, but I watch this show all the time. Love the Rugrats. Well, obviously, this is 3 different shows, but Rugrats was one of my biggest, and Hey Arnold, Scooby-Doo, now and then, but Hey Arnold and Rugrats, love them.
Yeah, but your baby at Channel, like you, Dave. I know it's your channel, but your baby at Channel, everybody's older.
Yeah, everyone's older. So they were letting their kids watch this stuff. They were like, yeah, my kids watched that. I watched it with them, but I was watching it.
I mean, go back to when it was me. I mean, it was really, you won't even remember things like Top Cat or Hong Kong Phooey, will you? That's what it was when I was a kid. Top Cat, Hong Kong Phooey. It's I'm gonna email.
I got no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you links so you can watch some of them on YouTube.
Oh, excuse me. Sounds good. I'm down to give them a try. I mean, shoot, I'll watch anything.
Yeah.
Almost. Hong Kong Phooey was the shit, Jason says.
It is. Hong Kong Phooey. It was awesome.
Ron says, don't forget Ed, Ed and Eddie. I didn't watch Ed, Ed and Eddie. I don't know why. I don't know. Was it a bad show? Did my parents like baby me and not let me watch it? I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. But I don't remember Ed, Ed and Eddie. I do remember Ren and Stimpy. Pinky in the Brain. Pinky in the brain. Samantha Core. Oh, I've been tattooed. I think did we already look at Samantha's? It's a different one, so we'll look at it anyhow. Samantha Core. I've been tattooing at home for about a year, but only on people I know. Smart. I've been trying to learn more techniques out of my comfort zone. Good. That's where growth happens. But sometimes we step out of those when we shouldn't. But it's all individually. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look here. Okay. Well, there are definitely some things I like, Andy. I like the lining on these teeth and stuff. Where I see lines, for the most part, they are pretty good. They really are. I don't really have any issues. If you look at it, you're not like, oh, man, the line works jank or anything like that. I think saturation, it would probably be something I would just take your time on, like up through here. Some of this just looks, if it's supposed to be a black, it's not quite fully saturated, inconsistent, looks a little patchy. And if it's supposed to be like a dark gray, it still kind of has a bit of a patchy feel. Could be the person's skin at times too, can make it appear that way. But yeah, we got some varying light tones going on in here. I think it reads okay. Love the teeth though. Teeth are probably my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the curves, you look at the points on the teeth. I mean, again, you beat me to that one, Dave. I was looking at them and it's like, they're nicely executed, all not rushed. They've not got rounded points on them, rounded ends, wet points. Again, line work looks nice. Them little lines, you've got the line weight, you've got them little finer lines coming off them. For me, on this one, it's the shading. The shading looks, some of the shading looks a little bit, shall we say, choppy, not smooth, not choppy.
Yeah, choppy. Choppy's probably a good word. Yeah.
Yeah. And the darks don't look dark, as in blacks don't look black. And if you was trying to get the transition between the two, just need to work on, blending your transition out, between the two, softening the line between the two. But then again, it may have been the style. I mean, we've done this before and we've said this about references and not having references to look at. So I could be just chatting crap there. If your reference showed that it was a hard line and that's where you wanted to go through. But just with me looking at it, some of the transitions between the real darks and the mid-tones and everything could have been a little smoother. The darks could have been a little bit darker. But mainly is where it's dark, the saturation just needs a little bit more work, and the blending out and the shading wants to be a little bit smoother, in my opinion. But the line work seems to be decent. The teeth work and everything. They're using a few different line weights in it, not massively varying in size, but there is different line weights within this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the bulk of this literally just comes down to is the shading. So if you're doing this, just slow it down a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe find another technique, see which practice it, maybe on some fake skin. You know, do what you're doing right now on fake skin, and then try some different modifications, some different ways of doing things. You can test all that out on yourself on some fake skin, see how it's working, see if you like that, and then try again. Because obviously something's a little off. Now it's not bad or anything. It's just like we said, it could be a lot smoother. But overall, not bad, Samantha. For a year in there, working on people you know, smart move. Obviously, this wasn't the first tattoo you've done. Those lines are looking really solid, in my opinion. A lot of things you see early on are those points in the teeth, like Andy was talking about. They look good, so you're definitely going in a great direction. Keep at it. Try to smooth out that shading, and keep killing it. Next up is Lee Stevens. Hi, guys. I have been an apprentice for 6 months and would love to hear your thoughts on this piece. I was recently asked by one of my customers to do. Okay, so this is a piece you asked by one of your customers to do. Apprenticing for 6 months. You just want some thoughts on it? Absolutely. All right. Okay. Huh. Well, it's not a bad tattoo, especially if you look at it from probably where you're supposed to look at it. The composition is what it is. If you come up here under the hat here, or under the hood, the little details for one, definitely you're going to need to work on there. Get this black, saturate all the way up here. The skin looks a little red. Now you're probably trying to put in light tones into the skin, and it's only you're getting the redness that you see before the tone sets in, before the redding goes down. After the redding goes down, then you'll be able to see your tone. So kind of hard to see that here as well. Excuse me. The lining, I don't really see a lot of lining. Where is some lining here? Okay, where there is lining, it looks all right. You got some white in here, and that white is helping the tattoo a little bit. I think that you're going to want to work a bit more on your shading. It's very kind of minimal, if you will, and there's not really a whole lot of values going on in it, at least not that I can see. Gets a little bit muddy down here, in my opinion. It's kind of hard at first to make out what you're seeing. Then you see a little bit of it. And then the way it's kind of silhouetted here just kind of gets a little confusing as it comes up through here. Same with the creases and whatnot. They just feel underdefined, undershaded out. It doesn't really feel like this hood is up in the front. It just is a little flat. And the skull is a little flat. And that's kind of where I'm coming in. It just kind of feels a little flat. And then what you have here in the eyes, it's just a little, I'm going to use the word overworked, but I don't think it's overworked. It's just like overdone with white to where you're not really even sure what you're looking at in there. I don't know, Andy, what do you think?
Yeah, well, for me, what I will say is, I mean, if you zoom out and you look at it from where it should be, it doesn't. It reads. You can read it. You know what's going on. So this guy's only been in an apprenticeship 6 months. I'll tell you what. I'll be honest. 6 months, and they've let you do this on a client. You must be doing something right. That's all I can say. And
it's really not horrible for 6 months. It's not bad. It's not bad.
No,
it's just,
it isn't, and it reads. I mean, how many times do you see so money? But when you get closer in, if you zoom closer in, when you get closer in on it, you can see that it's then a person of 6 months, because what you've got is, yes, they've wanted to do this piece and got in, and like you said, Dave, it's a little bit underdefined in the hood. It's a little bit underdefined in the skull. That's where they're still understanding the art and the artwork, and just they've got the sending in, they've got the key factors in, they've got the key bits, the little key bits in the darkness and everything in the tattoo, but then still not got the confidence and the skill to take it that one extra step by moving further out from that and putting from dark tones to mid tones to light tones in the skull, you know, to give it more curvature. Same in the eyes. We'll just pack it with black instead of I should be black up in this section of eyes and round here, and then it should come out and I might have a bit of a glint or, you know, funny shape through here and under the jaw, like just under the tooth of the jaw, you can see the black where it should have been faded out a little bit more. And it's very, very 6 months artistry, as in that you can read it, it's executed, you can read it well, but it's just not being able to take it to that next level of it being a professional. I say professional.
Yeah.
A
just
more,
to the next level.
More skilled and seasoned tattoo artist. Like the hood comes over, the hood comes down and comes down at that side, and you just got that grey line that goes over where, just to give the effect of the hood, where that really could have been black and then blended in through grey and, you know, further into the head.
Yeah, and then when you kind of look at the center here between the two eyes, again, we don't have a reference, so we don't know, but it looks, something that just kind of feels a little odd through here. But yeah, definitely needs some sort of tonnage going on here, something, because it's just reading kind of flat. But, yeah, you know, like Andy said, not bad for 6 months.
No, and I agree with John in the comments. It's put, at least the skin is not overworked. It isn't. It's not overworked.
No, it's just red. You know what I mean? It's just red. Some people get scared on when they see that and they think it's overworked. But.
And again, it's not bad. It's not a bad tattoo for a 6-month apprenticeship. It would. This is where you would probably expect it to be, and I'm just not committing to that next level of making a complete tattoo. As the, like I said, they've got just enough in. They've got it to the point where there's just enough in that it reads and that. And the thought said, I don't want to take it no further. I don't want to take it no further, because if I might do that and ruin it. Do you know what I mean, Dave?
Yeah.
So all props to that. And I'm not saying at a later date that may not be able to do a little bit more with it. But I'm also assuming as well that the person that he has tattooed, they will have understood that he is only an apprentice tattooist.
Yep.
Because they usually get told. So he's got to have agreed as well, you know, to let him do this. Because any self-respecting shop wouldn't just say, well, he'll tattoo you and not tell you if he's an apprentice, not tell you that he's an apprentice. They will say, well, yeah, are you thing, this, that, and other, and they'll either go yes or no. It's one of them as well, Dave. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's a big piece for 6 months in, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could be a lot to chew, a big bite to take there as far as work goes. Yeah. Sometimes it can be very daunting. You're looking at the piece, going, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to get this done?" Blah blah blah. You got to get used to working and keeping focused and blah 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 for 6, 7, 8 hours on. So that's a whole nother part of the process. And guys, I just want to thank you all. Continue, please. When we're looking at each one of these pieces, let us know what you think. It's great because sometimes we're looking at this going, there's things wrong with it. I don't know where I would exactly start here. Where is it? And then if the chat's saying, hey, depth here, this there, it's like, okay, great. We're not the only ones. There are other people looking at this who can figure out the words we're trying to find and see things we don't see. So please, absolutely, it's for the person who submitted the work's benefit that we all take a look and say what we see, you know, and because everybody's should have some thick skin sending work in.
So. Will, but I would also say, look, critique is critique, you know what I mean? And people have got to be a little bit thick-skinned, you know, and take it on chin. You've sent your work in if we do find out. But at the end, don't sit in the comments and shit on people's work. You know what I mean? It does take balls to send it in.
Absolutely.
And like I say, I mean, don't sit there hating on the person when if somebody's trying to learn. It's constructive criticism, in it, Dave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not hate or anything like that. It's constructive criticism, and we're not here just to sit there and hate 100% hate, you know, on stuff.
And
yes. Go on, Dave.
No, you're good. I just was going to bring up Jason said, where are the references though? And I just want to say that's a great point. It's kind of my fault because I started this out and kind of forgot to reiterate. Please send in references. We'd like references because then us, the chat, everybody can help you out more if we can see what it's supposed to be. So my bad. I probably should have started off with that, but
no,
trying to get used to remembering to remind people of that. What's up, Annie?
I'm laughing at Danik's comment because you know that's where it all goes. Oh. If they don't like the comment, they can send all the hate mail to Andy. Yeah, why not? They do it anyway. You know
there you go. I mean? If you're mad at anybody, be mad at Andy, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, and John says, yep, we're here to inspire them, not discriminate them.
Yep.
Or put somebody off. But yeah, Mike does say, Google that last piece. It's been around for years. Right. Yeah. That is a common thing I think some people do, especially when they're apprenticing or young or early on. I mean, I've done it myself, to be fair. I'm not going to try to be a hypocrite here.
I mean, I'm not.
They duplicate what they see or tattoo what a tattoo they've seen before. What are you going to do? I could be mad. You can stand up on a chair and yell at everybody, but people are going to do what they're going to do.
I'm going to get up on my podium again here. I mean, it has a lot of stuff. I see a lot of stuff that's been around on Google, and that. Jesus, I mean, most of the people that come in my shop and that have found the tattoo that they want on Google. Do you understand what I mean, Dave? They come in because such is the tattoo industry and the tattoo climate over here, and especially around where I am, it's like they come in and go, I want this tattoo. How much? It's X, Y, and Z. So are you going to get on your high horse and go, oh, it's on Google, I'm not doing it? You know what I mean? It's this, that, and other.
What I try to do nowadays is, because I do get that, people do bring in, and sometimes they're pretty adamant about wanting that. And I will try to talk them into letting me make a few modifications. I'm not doing anything groundbreaking here, but it's like, what do you really like about this? Oh, you like that? Is it cool if I change the background a little bit? Maybe I'll add this through there. I do try to, but I'm not going to sit here and lie. I've definitely been guilty of just doing it. But more so these days, I'm just really encouraging them. I do have a couple clients. They were like, that's exactly what I want. And I have done them. We try not to. We try to do some variation of the piece they want, or be inspired by and give them something else. That definitely the way to go if you can.
But then again, Dave, I've had clients that come in. It's like, no, I want that piece. So what you're going to do? Throw $500 out that window and not give them it?
You're just going to try to. You don't have to. You definitely want to try to modify it if you can. Yeah. But if they're saying like, no, I'm fine, I'm going, I'm just going to get it somewhere else, then yeah, I mean, if you got time, don't let the money walk away. I mean, still have
at the end of the day, I mean, what I'll have a tendency to do, if that's the case that they want, I may change the shading up a little bit. You know what I mean? And shade it in, that way around. Or if it's in black and grey, I'll do it in opaques.
Right.
Because I generally work in opaques.
But if you did a tattoo and I did a tattoo and anybody, Jason did a tattoo, doesn't matter. And we all had the same reference. There's going to be 3 different looking tattoos. By nature, you're going to tattoo something different, even if it's exactly the same, to be fair.
Because as we say, in comment there, is it Zoot in boots, as put, art is subjective. You know what I mean?
True story.
Art is subjective, and that is right. It's in that art is in the eye of the beholder. What I could think is crap, people might think is great, and just because I don't see what they see doesn't mean that they're wrong. Do you understand what I mean? It's just what it is.
All right, let's see what we got here. Hello, guys. I'm a big fan. Here is one of my first clients. The timing that what I said? The timing got sketchy because my wife and the client were laughing and conversating. But it was my first lettering without a tattoo printer. Okay. But I do have one now and it works wonders. But this was freehand. Any pointers? I understand this is not the best, but I'm always practicing and challenging myself. Well, it's really good that you have a stencil machine now, because freehand's great for those who, you want to learn tattooing before you get wild and do some freehand stuff, in my opinion. So it's good you have a printer now. Second one is, I've had a few clients lately that are talkers, and I don't mind. I love conversating and tattooing, man. If you're quiet, it's a little weird at times, but they move their hands. They're talkers with their hands, and you're working on their leg, and you're working on the hand. I'll let them know, hey, however you got to do it. Obviously, don't be a dick about it, but you let them know, I feel that vibration. You move your hands talking like that, it's messing it up down here. You know what I mean? So in this case, if they're laughing, doing stuff, you got to let them know, hey, I'm tattooing. You know what I mean? Like, I'll let you know when's a good time to go back to what you were doing. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know. I'd be curious to see if this even lasts.
It's not good.
No, and it's not really in there. It doesn't appear to be very well saturated. Maybe in some spots, but overall, I think this is going to end up falling out.
This part and the outside, outer part thing is as bad as fingers for getting shutter tattoos because of the skin, the thickness of the skin, the turnover of the skin. Because if you're doing anything, usually it's that side down on your hands. You know what I mean? If you're on the desk, you're doing
they wear so easily.
So you got to drill it in. I can see it's meant to be 2 different fonts. What I will say, the Let It Be seems to be in better than in his timing, but unfortunately they've missed the mark of these.
I'd like to know what needle they're using. What needle grouping they were using?
We've got double passed lines, thicknesses, consistency issues, like the G on the timing. The bottom, the top part of it, you can see it's darker on the underneath, and it goes thinner at the top. There's no consistency. I would say that these ain't going to hang around.
No, that's definitely,
especially in his timing.
Yeah, that one for sure. The other one has definitely going to fade and might have a small chance. Parts might be hanging around for a little while, but not all of it.
Yeah, but I think in his timing, a lot of that's going to come out because it's a bad places here, outside. And I mean, I remember ages ago, a lot of women were getting like on side of Andy, they were getting like, it was like a cross between a little bit of a tribal / Polynesian that used to go up, and you guarantee 95% of them, a lot of it would fall out.
Yeah.
It's just a really bad place. And again, as a tattoo artist, it's your job to know this, and it's your job to inform them and say, look, your chances are this ain't going to stay in. It's not going to stay there. It's not going to try talking them and moving to a better place. It's like you could have gone from there on your hand to there on your arm, and it would have stayed in all day long. Just above your wrist bone. If you'd gone just above your wrist bone on both sides like that, so they'd put it both sides like that, it'd have been better than having it like that. The chance of it staying.
And they used a 3-round liner, and I know it's small, but I mean, it's not that small, believe it or not. I mean, it is pretty small, no doubt, but I think you can tell it's a little bit thin. You went over it a few times, especially down here. I truthfully believe a 5-round liner would have been a better choice. You would have gotten them one pass, boom, got it. And then if you really needed to, because, you're still learning and practicing, go back with that 3 and smooth some things out. But this is not the place you want to be tattooing, like, period. Yeah. In general, I steer away from this all the time. I won't even tattoo the side of the fingers. If they wanted this tattoo, I pretty much tell them no, because I know it's going to fade. Even if I nail it in there, great, it's still going to fade. Not fall out, but fade. And I just don't want. I want my name associated with it.
I'll do the side of the hand, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do fingers, but there's a certain criteria that they've got to fulfill, and they've got to understand and agree to all terms and implications of it. And also, I do have a procedure for getting the ink in, because you do usually a smaller. I'll be honest, I do actually use a slightly smaller needle, but I actually crank my machine up, so I can be using a 3-liner at 8.2 volts. To go in them areas, and because I just want to go in and go around them once, and be out of there, and just 8 mag bit 8.2 on a 3-liner, slow and steady, and get them through there and make sure it's in. Job done.
Samantha Core says, sorry, I've just wanted to show some to you guys. All right, no problem. Let's take another look. Another piece. All right. Well, I would definitely clean the tattoo a little bit more when you photograph it. Maybe this isn't blood. Maybe it is just the redding on there. It's a pretty cool. Like, I like the style. I like the design.
I like it. I like the design.
Yeah, the design's nice. I guess the neck down here, I just feel like, I don't know, feels a little like empty or whatnot. You got this fullness up here, empty down there. But I think when it heals out, you're gonna lose the redding that's behind the yellows. You're gonna lose the redding that's in the reds, and it'll probably end up looking pretty nice. I want to look at the shading in the mouth here a little bit.
That face, inside that face, just that bit of horn that comes underneath, round this lip with the texture around the lip, and I'm looking around the eye and a bit further back when you read it. I'm liking how it reads for as, shall we say, as minimalistic as it is, Dave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not overly packed, with things. There's plenty of room for it to breathe. I do actually like this tattoo, and I do actually think it reads well. And I am positive, I'm virtually 90% positive that the client has walked away happy with this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm in the I do like that they have some darks here and there. They do have some blacks, and sometimes you can't always just like punch black in here and there, but I'm gonna agree with Smoke and with Jason. Just and maybe they're joking because I always say this, but I would like to see a little bit more black. It would help things pop. Maybe just commit to separating some of the surfaces here a little bit more. Maybe you could have come under here with a little bit more of like a black, just to separate the 3 little like horn things that are coming out the back there. I do like that you've black here. We got dark down here. I would just find areas that you can push the black just a little bit more, because it's going to make your light tones pop even more, and your open skin pop even more. But overall, I think it's a cool tattoo. I think the client's probably happy with it. I like the way it sits on their arm, and it kind of filled a decent area without like filling the area, So yeah, it worked out too. All right, let's see. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot to read what the chat was saying. I like to let the chat. Okay. All right. So they were saying yes, more black. Is this you, Bravi? Yes, it is Bravi. Let's see. The eye is confusing. Same with the color. That empty spots would use some colors. I agree. I think it's a little bit empty. I think you did as minimal as possible on this. You get away with it, yes, but I think a little bit more could have been done. But again, these are opinions, just what people are looking at. Don't beat yourself up or anything. Just thoughts, but I see that. Nice concept, Jason says. Ink Girl says she does like it. Fits the arm nicely. Let's see. Mike says most of the mistakes in these pieces are a lack of drawing skills before starting tattooing. It's not the 80s anymore when we were just trying to reproduce. Oh, I thought he said reproduce. And I was reading the last word wrong. Yes, flash. I thought he said flesh. It's like, what the heck? Yeah, obviously, and we do talk about that a lot there, Mike, drawing and what have you. But overall, I just wanted to read what the chat had to say there before we left. That way, Samantha could get as much value out of submitting your piece as possible. Oh, we got John. John is up. He says, let's see.
John Hernandez.
Yep. It says, hey guys, David and Andy, what's up to both you guys? I'm very happy to see our community to be more bigger and bigger. Kudos to you both. Keep doing this. It really help out not just beginner tattoo artists, also even me to more improve my work, because sometimes you cannot see your own mistakes. That's so true. To your work, sometimes you need an ear, hear from other opinions. That's what you guys are doing here. You guys also inspiring beginner tattoo artists. I just want to share my recent work. Just want to hear your both opinions and comment about the color packing. I forgot to tell you, I changed the color on the flower. All right, John, we want to thank you, man, for being here when you can. I know in Dubai, the time difference is crazy, but I think with us starting early today probably is the reason why you're not 3 o'clock in the morning trying to be here. So I appreciate you being here and in the chat and supporting other people here as well, man. So appreciate you. Let's take a look at what we got today. Ooh, I like that, man. Just from here, just looking at it, bam. I like it, dude. That is sweet. Sweet. Yes. I really like it. I like the bold lines where you have them. The little grays in the back here, boom, coming out, rocking them opaques. Yeah, dude, this is nice. I like it. The white's not overly done either. Just a little white here on the little, I'll call them petals. So look at that black. Look at that black down in there. Bam! That black is what allows that pink and those light blues to pop. I think it's because that solid black back there. I truthfully believe, in my personal opinion, it's a solid tattoo, man. I really like it. I don't know that I would change much at all. I mean, I think it's banging. It fits that arm really nicely. Yeah, I don't got anything to say. That's about it, man. Any thoughts?
There's a couple of things. Sorry, John, there's a couple of things I've changed, mate. What colours? The blues, banging. I like the blues. You know what I mean? No problem. Blacks, greys, everything. Ain't even going to comment. The line work ain't going to comment because it's bulletproof. But John, there's just a couple of things. One, inside the pinks you've used on the inside. I would have probably run another colour with that pinks, maybe a shade apart. I'd maybe used a light magenta into that lighter pink. For your darker, it would have just made that pop that little bit more. This is all I'm saying. I would have just used light magenta, and the other one. Could you just zoom in a bit for us, Dave, on leaves? Just scroll down on and all I would have said on the leaves for me, John, would have been, because you've got your dark green in, and you've got your yellow in. Would maybe that is magenta and pink. I'd have maybe mixed, with your magenta then, John. I'd have maybe mixed a bit of red in with it, just to get a bit, because it could be my screen. I'm just not getting a massive colour separation between the two. And that I'd have just, because I see you got your dark greens, I see you got your things. I'd have just probably popped a lighter green in there, like a lime green, to blend out of the light into the yellow to mix. That's all I'd have done. But that's just, again, John, I am sorry, mate, but that's just an artist. That is just basically an artistic point of view. I can't say anything on the tattoo because it's bulletproof, mate. It honestly is.
There's a reference. I see. So you changed that's what he said. He said he changed the color of the flower. I didn't know what he meant. Thank you for sending a reference though, man. Heck yeah. I do. I see you did change the color of it, but I like the way these colors look, actually. Really do. I personally like that it's not overdone. You could go wild with these colors. You could you could add and bring in colors, but it's like not overly done. And I think that's what I really like about it. It just stands strong on its own, in my opinion. I'm grateful that we're not just going off my opinion, because that would be boring.
No, I mean, and again, I agree with you. The blues, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing on the blues. I just think with how he's got the blues, you see how he's got the blues? He's got that super dark, rich, dark blue going into that super light blue. And you see how that contrasting change between the two blues. I just think if you add the contrasting change in the pinks the same, do you know what I mean? For the inside, that'd have been nice. But again, it's all down to artistic preferences. That's just straight up down to artistic preference. Again, but tattoo application, everything, this, that, and other, bulletproof. I'm just going on artistic style. You know what I mean? It's just,
absolutely.
Artistic choice based. I don't know how to. I don't know how else to say it. It's just an artistic choice, just an art style, and that it's.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. It's like the way we would each do things. And that's the fun part too, is you get another person's perspective of what, hey, this is what I might have done to it as well.
You can't take away that. You can't take away from him that it is good work. That's what that. At the end of the day, you cannot take away from John that it is good work.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Because Cassia, I believe, is what the magentas do a lot of times get a lot pinker in the skin than we think they're going to be, and the way things look on the bottle is always a bit deceiving when it hits the skin. And John does say, take note, I just use one ink blue and you mix white. Yeah, I do the same thing a lot of times. I can get 4 or 5 different blues out of one blue, and every once in a while I add another blue and then get a few variations out of that as well.
You see, the other thing as well is, and I know what Cassie is saying there, yes, they do get quite the same in the bottles that they do look, but this is where trial and look, and I'm not promoting anybody else's other channel, but Tyler, Tattoos with Tyler, he has an amazing tip. If you can't see your colours and you can't see your step changes between your colours, he has an amazing tip. Take a photograph of all your colours all together in a thing like that. Take a photograph of them, bang, so you can see it and take it in colour. Then turn that colour picture to black and grey. Turn that picture to black and white. And then it's quite simple. You will see the step changes a lot clearer between your colours. Do you know what I mean? You will see, because your black and greys will show, so you'll see your step changes. And what 2 colours you'll put together and think are okay, when they're in black and white, they will be very close together. This is why we always say, and this is why I try to say to you, look, 2 steps of separation, at least 2 steps of separation between every colour. Not 1, 2 steps. So if you're looking at a light magenta, then your next tone out from that, believe it or not, from a light magenta, it's going to be something like a lollipop or a light pink. You're not going to be still in magentas. You're going to be into your pinks. Otherwise, you're too close. And like I say, it will just turn on black and white. It will, and eventually you won't need to turn them black and white. It's one of them things you will just automatically know that you can pick. Right, I want this as my base colour, and if it's dark blue, so then what you'll do is you pick another bottle up, put it up at the side of it. No, I'll separate it. You will get to know all your 2 steps of separations between all your colours. Because I don't know about you, Dave, because when you first start off tattooing, you'll end up buying 3,064 different colours.
Yeah, you can definitely find yourself with a whole lot of colors.
At the end of the day, you're probably finding yourself sticking to maybe 15 or 20 colors that you use mainly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Then there's other colors that I use occasionally.
Yeah.
But yeah, you might buy several reds over the process, but then realize there's a few reds you really like, or one red, or two reds, or whatever, and then you know what colors you like to mix with those. And it's a learning experience, though. I mean, it's one of the things where you just got to experience it, in my opinion. All right. Kimberly says, been tattooing for a few months consistently, trying to tattoo every day. Here's one I did on my leg and some fake skin. All right. So we'll start with the fake skin. Let's see. All right. Kimberly, what do we got here? All right. Yeah, I think the line work looks really good.
It looks, I tell you what, it looks consistent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks really nice. The black seems to be pretty well saturated. Yeah, this is a nice piece. Consistent line weights, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say, and I'm not just talking about the consistent lines, Dave. Look at the, you know, the whiskers, nice and smooth, smooth over. You look at the lines down the paws, over the paws, the little lines in the paws, all the curvy lines and everything. They're smooth.
It is smooth. It is smooth. Let's see what we got here. All right. Not bad. Lines still look pretty decent.
Yeah.
Teeth look pretty decent.
All nice and sharp.
Yeah, black seems to be pretty well saturated. There might be a few lighter spots, but overall, not bad. You know, got some shading here. Doesn't look bad either. I'm not really sure what these black marks. Again, I don't know. There's no reference. I forgot to tell everybody some references, so I'm going to take the L on that one for myself. It looks like parts of this might be healed or healing or something, because some of these lines look very light while some of these are fresh. So I could be looking at it incorrectly. I don't know. But these lines look much lighter than these what appear to be fresh lines. But overall, this doesn't look bad. I gotta turn my head and I can see it a bit better. A little bit of shading here and there. They got a few tones going. It's not a bad tattoo. It's not overly complicated, but it looks okay. It looks all right to me. Let's see. Oh, this is nice. Yeah. This eye looks good. Real soft. I like the little details they did in the actual iris itself with the little squiggles there. Adds a lot to it. Eyelashes aren't too shabby at all. They like how they're not just single eyelashes. They crisscross like real eyelashes would do. Tiny little things in the eye there. Looks good. All right, here we go. We got a pretty straightforward Spider-Man. I would just watch your saturation of the black. That's going to be probably the only thing on this one. You can see just how light the black is. It's not fully saturated. Same up here. Wherever there's black, it's just not quite fully saturated, brought all the way up to the line. It's a pretty common thing we see and we talk about, so nothing crazy. Overall, the lining's still not bad. Some are darker than others, but overall, not too bad. Let's see what we have here. Okay, we got some lettering on the leg. You know what? This does not look bad. There's some but there's some pretty thin lines you have going on here. And I can see where you lined all of it. And even these swoopy bits coming out and around. Very nice, in my opinion. I don't see anything that's blown out. I think it could be the angle and the way the photo is. I'm going to just reiterate it. Just watch your black. Make sure you're saturating it all the way through. Take the time. It might be a little light. It could be the photo. Either way, talking about the lining here, you're definitely moving in a really good direction here because that line weight is looking good. Okay. So apparently, Kimberly, you hate Andy. So I don't know.
There's no point if that's it. Yeah, Kimberly, is it Christine Smith? Yeah, well, obviously you don't like me, so there's no point in me saying out on you. I
saw that out of the corner of my eye there at the end there. I'm like, wait, who?
Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't want to miss out on your tattoos, so
I gotcha.
It's one of them things.
Be nicer, Kimberly. Be nicer.
Don't sit there hiding behind a keyboard.
Yeah. True story. True story. Imagine, let's see, did the chat have it?
Yeah, John, it's serious.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, okay. I thought maybe I had just seen out of the corner of my eye, maybe just one person, but it looks like there's a lot of people telling us. Okay, at least we've been verified that that's the person, one of them.
Yeah.
This is from Smoke again. This is a better photo, one that we can get a little bit closer on. It still looks pretty good, man. I think, like Andy said, that line down here is just that little spot there. You can always smooth that out if you wanted to, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still liking the writing. Again, I'm looking at the little teeth, nice and pointy. I mean, fingers. The biggest thing that sits out is that curve, you know, on the bottom of the circle.
Yeah, that was probably the worst of it there.
Yeah.
Yep. Not
nice to see it colored.
No doubt. Again, we are looking forward to seeing this colored. Tell your wife to submit this Smoke, Mrs. Smoke, when she's done. I would love to see it. Looks like it's going to be a really fun one. Even if it doesn't work out the greatest for her, it's okay. I mean, this looks good. Huge improvements. So send it in either way. Tell her, Smoke. Don't let her not send it in, even if she's not in love with it. So we can see her grow when she does it again or the next piece. It's great to see the development, good, bad, you know. It's always one step forward, two steps back, one step forward, two steps back. So moving along here, guys. I'm moving kind of quick, we're not here for 3 hours. We'll get a few minutes to BS at the end. Let's see. The dope arts. In fact, I better go ahead and take that out of there and add that there. There we go. There we go. Come on now. There we go. Only did the line work. Any tips for coloring? Would appreciate. Thanks for the time. Have a great day. All right. Hey, at least you sent a reference. Appreciate that. All right. Yeah. All right. What is this? A swan, right? Swan. 2 roses and a skull. Okay. Well, I'm just looking down here that these roses look pretty consistent as far as their lining goes.
The lining does. I mean, I'm looking at the line over the top of the skull.
Yeah.
Nice and curved, nice and rounded. I'll tell you what, I mean,
it's not bad for
line works in. It's consistent.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, they're smart of them to just do the lining. You know, don't overdo it right now. Do what you do. Saturate the blacks, hit the lines. There's definitely appears to be a bit of a blowout right here. It could be off. I could be wrong. It's just tend to see that bluing. Kind of lets you know, hey, there might be something here. But if you shade this, do your thing. If it is there, you can kind of hide that without too much issue. Sure, there's a little bit here, but again, you're moving around body parts, all that. The beak looks solid. The eye looks solid. Wings are consistent for the most part. Yeah, this is pretty decent, man. This is decent line work. So
it is, and I mean, just that little bit of cheek under Swan's. That's a nice curve. Beak looks nice. Eye looks nice. And like I say, it's nice, not bad lining at all. Nice lining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh, here's the person who said, I'm going to try to shade, but the guy took a break and got very drunk. I see the bottles in the background.
I see bottles at the back.
So yeah, he took a break. He took a solid break. Maybe another day. Maybe I have to finish that one up there. Yeah, Jason, I see the beers. And Danik, Andy's the real deal. Tough F. Probably eats, what is that? Marmite?
Oh, no.
Every morning, one tough SOB. What's Marmite? Am I saying that right?
it's some Marmite. It's Australian, and it's some sort of like yeast product that you put on toast and bread. It's disgusting.
Oh. So you eat that every morning, Andy?
No. I think I've tried it once, and if I never try it again, it'd be too soon.
Oh, that bad, huh?
Phew.
Steve, look. Oh, you think we're gonna get the colored version of this, Andy?
Well, it says he's going to tell me whether he likes me or not, or he hates me, or whether he wants me to go or not after I've had a look at his tattoo.
What Steve did? LeBlanc. He's deciding whether he likes you or not, depending on how nice you are to him. Here we go. Finish my color cat design. Let me know what you think. Okay, we've been following this for a little while now as the design happened and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Soak it in here. All right. Okay, there it was. Lined out. All right. There was black and gray. Oh, isn't that cool, man? Oh yeah. That's a fun looking tattoo. I do think the colors got a little muddy here and there, and that could be because you had the black and gray already there, and maybe you're saturating the color over, and it just kind of a little funky in some spots. But overall, I think it looks really cool. It's super fun tattoo. There are some things I would do. You don't have to do these, but I would probably try to get a little bit more variation in your grays in here. I see you did some of that, and the saturation is hit or miss, to be completely honest, but again, it still looks pretty cool. Try to find, maybe you can bring some black or some dark tone like on these sides a little bit, just to brighten the color up a little bit more black. You probably could have snuck even a darker tone back here in some spots just to push the face forward a little bit. I would try to saturate the black in the eye a little bit more as well, just around the edges and whatnot. And again, that gray is kind of in there, but it feels a little patchy. Again, packing color in fake skin's a pain in the butt, but this is the time you can practice that. I like this. This looks nice and smooth right there. I think the brown use is nice. It's cool, man. It's cool. Just little things in your coloring would help it out a bit. Like the glasses could add a little bit more here and there for them. Andy, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like it.
Absolutely. Well, I agree with you.
I like it. I like the tattoo. I've liked it all the way along. I like the composition of it. I'm with you. The artistic changes that I would make, and this is again, you've got the purple fur with the open space. If it was me, I'd have brought something like a quite brightish bit of pink in with that fur to give the highlight, the transition between the purple to the highlights.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just to brighten it up.
Yeah.
Because it's gone over the black and it's muddied it down. Same with the hat, where it's got just at the top here, and you've got that little bit of dark just coming off the lighter grey part. And maybe put a bit more black in, then come over the top with your brown, but then also used a light beige in there with it for the highlights, to go over it. The greys, sure. Maybe use a little bit darker grey running into a lighter grey. Again, with you in the glasses, and it's just artistic wise that they changed it, added a few more colours in, a few lighter colours to help the darker colours be brighter and move forward. And this is why I say, look, and I've said to them all along, colour theory, this, that, and over. I don't understand. I only know a few colours and colour theory, and what colours work together to make. There is certain colours that go together. There's that offset each other. You've got primaries, you've got tertiaries, you've got secondary colours. Go on Amazon, buy you, if you're not right sure to start with, buy yourself a colour wheel. They're about $5, Dave. You know what I mean? And you can sit in here and spin it, and it will give you all the colours or variations of colours and colours that will make them colours look brighter, that you can put together. And then after that, you'll use it a few times. You'll keep it. You use it maybe 20 times or whatever, then you'll get to know what your ink colors will do with each other. But
and if you have Procreate, it's built into Procreate too. And you go up to your color wheel, you can type in. There's different options. It'll show you all the different, so you can just turn it just like color wheel. Pick the color you want, and it'll give you the tricolors for it, or whatever. I can't think of whatever words you just said. Those words. But yeah, a manual color wheel is great as well, because then you don't have to worry about whether you have an app or not. They probably have an app for it, actually. You can probably just download an app nowadays.
You probably can.
Oops.
Probably does. I just think it just, you know what I mean? Got it?
Yeah. But you're right. I use that thing a lot because I'll know, like, I want one color. And I'm like, what the heck do I add to? What do I do with this color? And then you can find, oh, look at that and look at that. Okay, so that color, blah, blah, blah. And it's a great way to just start getting your mind working on what colors. I think this is the reference.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. It makes a little bit more sense here.
It does make a little bit more sense because the reference, it's not overly done in the reference.
No, but they can definitely see the tones are off in comparison.
Again, is it Lee? Would it Lee?
Yes.
Again, this is where you've got to say that sometimes you've got to take artistic liberties, and understanding artwork and understanding drawing and being able to draw this, that, and other. This is where, like I say, you've got to take artistic liberties and artistic creative license. And sometimes that could have been, that's the basis of the tattoo, but you could have added to it.
Yes.
I mean, you
could have added to it, and then also could have hit a bit more of this, like up in. Excuse me. If I recall, it was missing. It didn't have as much going on here in the head thing, whatever hood. There are bits of darkness here, and then whipped out longer shades. All these little folds and creases. There were some in the tattoo we saw, but it wasn't to this level of them. And then see the eyes. I had no idea what was going on in those eyes on the other one. Here you can see its depth in the eyes. I don't know if there was what was back there,
Yeah, and
I thought the bottom half was probably the better half of that.
Yeah, and if you look at the eyes, it's black with a lighter shade of grey and a little bit of highlight, where it relied on white to do all that within the eye. But it's just, he'll take away from it. It will learn. I mean, there's a 6-month apprentice. He's doing his shizzle. You know what I mean? He's putting his time in. He's got to learn. And the only way you can learn is by keeping tattooing and, again, people pointing stuff out, not getting upset or mardy about it, as long as it's constructive, and then working on from there, and just thinking, oh, yeah, well, they're all right. Yeah, I can see that. I will just start tweaking out from there on in. And I'm sure it'll be all good.
Absolutely. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Well, Andy, we made it through there in about 2 hours. That was kind of my goal. So we asked for about 10 or 15 minutes. Trying to keep the streams a little bit more responsible as far as not wasting too much of your guys' time or our own. Thank you, John. Appreciate you, man.
Just before we bullshit there,
yes,
I'm just going to nip to the news bathroom, and then we'll have last bit of stream, and then
sure. But thanks, John. I'm looking forward to whatever the new shop is as well. If we're going to be in the San Antonio area, I'm sure everybody here already knows that, and be looking for a booth to rent at a shop that will have me, and at a shop that I'd feel comfortable at. So we'll see how it goes, and then hopefully, John, the day will come, and Death Punch Inc. will live again, and it will live hopefully with some new artists with us, with myself. So it's not just me in a private studio next time. It will be a shop with a few people that's the goal anyhow. That's the dream. And hopefully get John out of Dubai and come live in Texas or something. But anyhow, guys, I really do appreciate everybody you sent work in. It does take a lot to send it in and let a couple of idiots look at your work and say what we want to say or throw our opinions in there. And I think that's really why I enjoy having the chat, you guys there, to also talk about what you see. Again, we miss stuff. Again, their opinions a lot of time. If it's not fundamental, then it's a lot of opinion based, right? So it's great to have more opinions than just mine and Andy's, because sometimes you hear them all the time and you probably can predict what we're going to say if you're here every week. That's why sometimes I think people are joking when they say it needs more black. I don't know if they mean that or if they just know that's probably what I'm going to say. And when I look at my own work, a lot of times I'm thinking it needs more black. So yeah, it's kind of subjective, but I do believe that black, well, I don't believe, it is true. The darks let your light shine and the darks let your color shine. So you need the blacks. So anyhow, and it is, John, it is good to hear other people's opinions of your work. And yeah, it can help open your eyes to see what other things could have been done, especially when you know it's coming from a decent place, you know. Anyhow, but guys, if you got any last minute questions or thoughts you want to throw in the chat, please do so. We're wrapping it up here. About another 10-15 minutes we'll be on out. I got to get ready for tomorrow's tattoo.
I can't. Stay blanc. Still love you, man. Still love you.
For now, does. You know, for now.
Somebody does. No hateful comments going in after the fact. Then underneath the stream, then Steve. Are you about this Thursday, Dave?
One second. Let me check.
Gosh, this Thursday over on mine. I think what we're going to do, like what I said this week, anybody that's doing the artwork can send it in. But also, we said that this Thursday, we're going to do like meet the subscriber and their pastime. What do you do in your pastime? I want to see pictures of what you're doing in your pastime. Yeah. You know, because I've had people come in and sending, like, they're doing modelling and, you know, miniature modelling and drawing and I don't know. Somebody doing they've been doing airbrushing. I don't know. You fishing? Do you build cars? Do you restore them? We want to see all that. What you guys basically on Thursdays, what you guys do in your pastime to get your creative, you know, whatever. I mean, Jason says, "Can I send a pic of me as a kid building house?" Whatever. It's what you do, whatever you're doing in your pastime, and that gets you on your downtime when you're left to doing your own. You know what I mean? And that. So that's, you can send them in on Thursday over on my channel, and it'd be just nice to see what you guys do in your downtime when you're left alone, and it's what you want to do when you want to do it and how you want to do it type thing.
Casey said, I'm not sending mine anymore. I already know what I've messed up, LOL. My eyes are wide open. That's really good, too, to just know at this point you can just look at your work and go, okay, I like that. I did that. That line's slightly off, or that's not quite. And then just keep adjusting and adapting. But it's looking good. I think you're I've seen every once in a while I see some of your stuff pop up on my Instagram feed. And it's great to see you doing other stuff. You know what I mean? I see the line weights are getting a little thicker. Colors introduced. You know what I mean? That's cool. It's cool. It's moving along.
Smashing it. She's Casey. She's smashing it along now. Rocking the pink ambition topped machine.
Oh,
is right Casey on. Now?
Danik asked. Quick question. Are you using the XXL armrest? Just ordered it. Wondering if it's more comfortable to tattoo with. I do. It's sitting right there. I don't use it all the time because I don't need it all the time. I use the one majority of the time. I use the one I built because I built it with a pretty large surface on it and it can move in a lot of various ways. But that being said, if I hadn't built that one and actually really like it as a in between, I'd be using the XXL every single day. So it's great. It's great. The person put their arm on him. It's huge. You got plenty of room to sit and work on and whatnot. Again, I like the one I have because it's a little bit more versatile for day to day, all the time. But if I'm getting something large and I know I'm gonna be sitting there for a while, blah 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 blah, I'll bust it out. Sometimes it's just really nice to have. So I definitely encourage, if you're looking, thinking about getting an armrest, it's a really fantastic armrest. It's comfortable. It's huge, so it's great. I don't know. Yeah, I use it all the time. And I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, just in case somebody wants to. Thinks that I do, but I don't.
Yeah, how are you? I'll tell you what I'm going to ask you, Dave. I was thinking, how are you still getting on? Are you still using your little Ambition batteries?
Yeah. Yep. I just used them today, actually. I still, most of the time, my critical, because I bought them as backup batteries. Because I have the two criticals. The ones the connection went bad on. The other one, I think the connection might actually be going on it, but it stopped working the other day, and I turned it and went back on. So that's the first sign of its connection starting to go. Yeah. But anyhow, I use that on my Bishop Swan Packer, and then I use the proprietary battery on the EMALLA Grand. And the only time I take the proprietary battery off is when it dies, and it died today. So I took that off and I put one of the what are they called?
Quark
batteries on there. And then sometimes if the critical's not charged up, then I would use the Quark batteries. They work great. They're small. They're nice. I just love having them. If they died, I'd just buy more.
It's Anonymous has put my charge has been shitty on them. I might have got a bad lot. Mine, like I say, 6 hours. 6 hours, not a problem out of mine.
Yeah, no, I think something like that. I mean, I might, again, I use two machines most of the time when I'm tattooing. Sometimes I won't even use the Bishop wand. Sometimes I'll just use purely the EMALLA Grand. But a lot of times I go in between two machines, so I space it out a little bit. So I never have a dead battery. Not, at least not one of those.
Whereas, like I say, I just use the one machine, so I can run it all day long. One battery. I've only ever run out of charge on the battery once, and I've been literally tattooing the person all day. You know what I mean? And that it's so I've never had a problem. Never had a problem.
Good night, John.
Catch you later, John. What I'll do is I have two. So I'll tattoo with one, even if it's only been running an hour. If I've only been running that battery an hour, when I break my machine down and I clean it and everything, that battery will come off. That battery will go on charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The machine's cleaned. The battery that's been on charge comes off charge, goes on the machine, ready for the next tattoo. And that's how I rotate my batteries, you know, and that it's if it's just been an hour, it's tattooing. 2 hours, it's been tattooing. And even if there's only one bar down on it, it will go back on charge, you know, and I'll do it right that way.
No, that's good. I have like 2 chargers and 4 batteries, and I'm always kind of using one, switching this. So something's always on the charger. But the worst is when I forget, and then I come back down, and then that's when I'm using my back. It's literally why I have backup batteries. Not necessarily because I need them, but because I forget too many things. And so they're there in case I forget to charge my primary batteries. So yeah, he said now he's down to 2 to 3 hours from 5 to 6. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Sometimes there's a dud, you know what I mean?
I mean, I literally use mine every single day of my working week. No problem. Is Smoke bowing out?
Yep. Later, Smoke. Thanks for being here, man.
Nice to see you. And no problems. I've got no things to the point now. I don't know how many months it is I've been rocking them in shop that basically if it all shit the bed tomorrow, I just throw it all away and go buy new again. I don't know me a thing, Dave. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for the cost of them, I mean, like it's kind of the same. Even if you buy a cheap battery off Amazon, they're like $120, $100 right now. Anyhow, for these, you get 2 of them for like $100. And then if you get the deal where you can get the machine, I mean, for a battery, I know there's some people that truly diagnose these batteries and can tell how much, amps are being put out, this, that, and the other. But I use them in line with my critical batteries, who are supposed to be the best, and I really notice no difference. So I'm totally down with, as long as it's moving the needle, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can work with it. He said the Quark battery on Amazon's $80. Oh, okay. So they raised the price when they put it on Amazon. You see that a lot when people put stuff on Amazon because it's a trusted source. And people are like, I'll just go check Amazon. I know it's a few extra bucks, but at least I know it's coming from Amazon. It'll be here in 2 days if they have Prime, I'm a sucker for Prime sometimes, so I get it.
Well, I am, but not that. I mean, I think last time, which was a while ago now, last time I looked at Ambition store online, they was doing the Torpton 2 batteries for about $125.
Yeah, yes. I mean, you can get a 2 batteries and a decent machine for decent. Yeah, so
yeah,
you're kind of spend a few extra bucks and get double the battery, and you just gotta wait a little while. It's just obviously gonna be shipped.
Yeah.
But your patience can save you money for sure, and I think that goes in life in general. That's the way life works.
And I mean, Jason says you get it off AliExpress for $60, but if you go straight to Ambition site, if you Google it, Ambition tattoo supplies, you go straight to Ambition site, you can get. They were doing a deal where you can buy the Torps, Jason, and 2 Quark batteries for $125. You know what I mean? It's like, boom. You go figure. You go figure. I mean, it's $60. So if it's on AliExpress for $60, so for another $65, you're getting another battery and a machine.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to beat. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nuts, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I'm grateful that I still like that grand machine. I was fearful when I was like falling for said machine that, I was going to fall out. I don't know. You just like, I hope I don't like this for a little while. I've actually gotten more and more comfortable with it. I really like the fact I used mainly 3 settings on it: the 3.3, the 3.6, or 3.9, and 4.2. If I want to shade with my opaques, but I want a little bit of forgiveness, if you will, I will drop it to 3.3 stroke, and I prefer doing it that way. If I want a little bit more saturation, bumped up 3.9. If I'm packing, 4.2 to 3.9, thicker lines. I've gotten a little more used to the machine, even, and I've found I'm using a little bit more of its versatility, and been actually enjoying it. But that's if you were looking for a swash drive multi-stroke machine, which I was totally against. If you ask Joey Boy, but he's not here anymore. I don't see him here anymore, but he was all about that. And I was like, man, no. But then here we go. I'm a fan of it. Let's see. Hey, Dave and Andy. Hey, all. What's going on, man? We are just wrapping it up here. I guess currently we're talking about machines. Let's see. Alicia Luce. Hello, Austin. Oh, there we go. Hey, Austin. What's going on, buddy? I'll see you in a few. Let's see what we got here. Cassia says, I've ordered one from Ollie and other one from Ambition's site, same delivery time as from China, and got some off price from AliExpress. Yeah. So it was even cheaper than the Ambition with discount. That's crazy. That's kind of what you were talking about before, Andy.
Yeah, you go on to, because you've got an Ambition tattoo supplies on Google, and then if you go on AliExpress, there's Ambition official store on AliExpress, And then when you go on AliExpress, if you spend so much, it comes up with discount codes, that you can apply on their store, so you get more off it.
True story.
It's nuts. It's nuts. So it's just one of them things.
Dan says, is the EMALLA the first multi-stroke machine you ever used? No, it's not. I think I used a couple CNC ones, and there was another machine. I don't know who it was from. It wasn't the Valhalla. I actually never used the Valhalla, so I can't really speak on that. But but it's the first one I've liked a lot. The other one, it worked. It was fine. But this one I've actually enjoy using. Let's see. All right. Jason says, I still talk to Joey. I bother him like I do you guys. I still talk to Joey here and there as well. Mostly just follow. I think everybody kind of follows each other here. So I comment on his stuff, comment here, this, that, and the other. I think he's gotten more busy now. I think he's correct me if I'm wrong, Andy. I think he's working in a shop now, like a couple days a week, I do believe, unless something's changed.
He is. And I don't know if he's floating about, and he might pop on after if he watches it or whatever. I'd seen something the other day that was it in it tagged. I don't know whether he just tagged. Is it his wife? Is it his wife's nail shop, or whether he's actually working out of his wife's nail shop? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Whether he's in a tattoo shop, or whether, because at first I thought it was in a tattoo shop, and then it was in on one of his posts that I'd seen. It tattooed, it was tagged in like some sort of like nail shop. So I don't know whether it's his wife's or whatever.
Okay.
I'm
he
not
could be. Maybe he's just support. Maybe just posting in support of his wife's site.
It could be.
I don't know.
It could well be, Dave. I don't know, but I know he was in some sort of shop.
Right on.
Which, to be fair, I mean, with how his work is, and that's where it needed to be. It definitely does.
It does,
and it needs to be out there. He had a talent that there was didn't need that secret didn't need keeping. That needed to be out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love.
People could benefit from his talent, and that.
Yeah, and he's a nice enough. Just that's why I like the small community we have here, because everybody's willing to share stuff, whatever they got. And it's funny how some of the smallest stuff can make some of the biggest differences when it comes to information. Things can help other people, even if we think they're kind of dumb, or we think that it's just like, oh well, this is just how I make my gray wash, or this is just how I clean my needle off. It's like, oh wow, that's fantastic. I just saw somebody today. Oh, right before I got on here, I was killing some time scrolling through Instagram, and this guy was setting up for a tattoo. I don't know. I thought something was going to happen. Nothing happened. He just set his setup, but he put out these big ink caps, which I used to use. I don't really use the big. I mean, they're pretty good size, and then he filled them up with water. He had everything else out, and then he opened his needles and put the needles into the cups. And my mind was blown. I'm like, holy crap, that's fantastic. Because I'm always trying to organize my needles, and they're always getting a little dry from time to time, and they need to be a little bit of water. But in this case, you can just literally just put the needle in the cap, and there's water in it, and you can just label what each cap is. I don't know. It's so little and dumb, but to me, it was fantastic, because I've been trying to find a product that isn't crazy expensive that I can organize my needles in and somehow keep them from getting dry if I'm using this particular needle for a little while. Simple enough. Just literally put the head of them in the. It's like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Nuts, and it's madness. Just the little things that you can learn that people do on a regular basis, and it's the norm to them. And you think about it, it's like, wow, you know what I mean? I wish I'd have thought of that. Why haven't I been doing that?
little ink caps.
Yeah. It's mad, absolute madness. But again, it's just one of them things that you just come across. You just just mistakenly come across, and it's like, yeah,
same. Like I still like using double-sided tape to hold my ink caps down. I mean, I ran out, and I'm not going to order it because I'm leaving, so I'm back. I just use A&D or whatever kind of ointment you're using to hold your ink caps down. But every once in a while, I get an ink cap that would lift because I'm trying to put slightly too big of a mag sometimes into an ink cap. Double-sided tape, piece down, caps on. They never move. Just little things I think I get excited about nowadays. You can get special. Oh, go ahead, Andy.
But it is there because you've pretty much got yourself sorted. Your setup sorted. Your grey wash sorted. And everything like that. And once you know yourself, once you get like that, then breaking down, setting up and getting everything just becomes routine. It's one less thing you've got to think about. You just do it. But then, so it's just fine tuning the little. It's just fine tuning the little bits, and it doesn't take much then to. It don't take much to get excited about something. It is just the little things that you get excited about. Make it easier. Right. Like you say, your cartridge is not drying out, or something like somebody will go, oh well, I use this. If you have your machine like do your machine like this, and then do this, it's wrapped. It's like, oh yeah, when I do that, it's the little things. That's what I'm saying. Because most of your major stuff is already figured out. Yeah, and you're happy with. And a lot of the time, once you get to that point, it's like the old saying: if it ain't fixed, don't break it. You know what I mean? Don't try to fix something that ain't broken.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Yes, right. Somebody said I sent mine to Andy without reference because I forgot about it and thought Andy could send it on to Dave. Thought there wouldn't be time to see them if too many emails were sent in.
Oh, has he sent what?
I guess he sent it to you. In the meantime, let's see.
Versatility, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't pay attention for a moment there, and I missed what was Dave talked about and seemed excited. I was excited for something dumb, man. It's just my needle cartridges. I like to keep them organized, but they kind of dry out sometimes. I'll dip them in water and set them down, and then change needles, but they kind of get a little dry from time to time. And I'd like to just be easier and more organized. I don't want them rolling around, so I have like a little plastic thing I set them in, but they just kind of move around and. It's crap. And so I saw today a guy took ink caps, pretty much the same ink caps you'd put your ink in. Geez, I'm slow today. But they were just a little bit bigger, kind of like a jumbo ink cap. And he just laid like 6 of them out, depending on how many needles you have. And he filled it up with a little bit of water on the bottom. And then he just put all his needles, one in each cap, and then labeled which one was which. And I was like, oh my God, that's fantastic. I have tons of ink caps. They're cheap. And that'd be a great way to organize my needles. I was just getting excited about some dumb stuff, to be fair. The last thing I got excited about that was dumb and small was, like I said before, holding my ink caps down with double-sided tape. Every once in a while, I get ink on the floor because I'll try to put too big of a mag into a small ink cap or something like that or whatever, and the ink cap will come up, splash. So the double-sided tape, boom, doesn't let them move. That's what I was getting excited about. So. All right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Got a thing. I've probably got your email somewhere in all that lot. Just can't find it at the minute. If I find it, I will have a look at it. We'll have a look at it probably Thursday. If we've got a bit of time. I know we're running on back end of this one, and I know time difference and everything for you. But Thursday over on my channel for me, I'll dig the email out. If we've got time, we will look at it. I promise you that. And just if you're about on Thursday, then just shout in chat outside. Oi, Div Pop, look at my email. You know what I mean? That I sent you. But I will find it and I will mark it up. You know,
Definitely.
on the emails that I've sent in, ready for Thursday. Over on mine.
Sounds good. Well, guys, we are just 30 seconds out from 2 hours and 30 minutes. So we're going to be jumping off here. But again, I thank you guys for sending your work in, for hanging out with us. We went a little early today, just again, when we have time. Earlier is better for me and Andy, I'm pretty sure. But a lot of times life keeps it late. So I was happy we could jump on here early. And sorry we missed some of you guys because of the time being slightly early. But I thank you guys for being here. Go subscribe to Andy's channel, _tattoo_studio, the brain part. And we will see you guys on Thursday. Yeah. Andy, got anything before we leave?
No, that's it. Like Dave says, we should be on mine on Thursday, and it's just give you the channel. If you're not subscribed today, subscribe. Give him a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go find it. Give us a subscribe. We'll see you over there on Thursday night live. Other than that, I think everything's going to be enjoy yourself, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.